G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. In today's video, we're going to be doing some more dressing up of the K24. Again, not tightening anything down, but I'm going to show you some of the new parts that I've got for the car. We're going to hang the turbo for the very first time. I'll show you the manifold that I've got and a new rear muffler, and we'll start to piece together the puzzle. But still waiting on heaps of parts. Stick around, I'll show you what I got. Welcome back to the channel. So as mentioned, we're going to be unboxing, and I've already sort of half opened it, a 1320 turbo manifold. It's going to be the sidewinder kind, which is the most common one you see on K-series engines in Civics. I would have liked to get a high mount at the back of the engine, in the back of the engine bay, because I'm not running a giant turbo. A nice free-flowing manifold that gives plenty of control for the wastegate, and mounted in the back of the engine bay to simplify all my piping and everything. But I couldn't find one within my budget. I managed to get this sidewinder here from 1320. This one was on a massive discount, almost half price, because there was a couple of scratches on it. So they're so small the camera won't even pick them up. But I got this one for pretty much half price. Just looked around on eBay. It is the real deal manifold, as you'll see here. It's got the U-Butte laser etched logo, all ported out nicely. Wastegate, nice clean welds on the inside, very well made, very heavy. Got a couple of stickers here. I've already stuck a few of those up. I'm also going to be putting on some titanium studs. I've already gone ahead and chucked a couple of them in, the three bottom ones. I'm just in the middle of pulling out the studs now. For the top, sit those on, and I'll dummy up the manifold, and I'll go and grab the turbo that I'll be using as well. Stick it all on there, stand back and admire it. So let me put the camera down, grab those manifold studs. I'll tell you how to take them out. So I got these titanium 12-point exhaust manifold studs. I got them off eBay. They're just a generic brand race bolts. They are, obviously, being titanium, very lightweight. That whole thing with the nut and the washer definitely weighs less than one standard stud. And you can really feel that and notice it. So not that you really want weight saving mods on your exhaust manifold studs, but the thing is, these are actually super duper strong. They won't be affected by heat as much, and they'll torque down nice and strong without snapping. Now, to change manifold studs and to take these ones out, what you need to do is, and probably best to show you on the actual stud. So we'll just wind that all the way down. These nuts that I've got are pretty bulky, and that's really the best I could find. They're a weird shape for exhaust studs. And get the other one on. Tighten them against each other, and then you use the back one, pushing against, there he goes, the force of the front one. Sorry about the camera angles, but it does require a little bit of strength. And then continue doing that. You can see it's backing off there until it's out. And then once it loosens off, you just take it out. And then you can replace it with your new shiny titanium studs. So when putting in your titanium studs, they actually have a Allen key head on them, just like ARP head studs and most other high-end hardware. So you can put that in. So you take your stud, put it in the hole, and then you can just tighten that in there with the Allen key, and then you are right to go. Get them all in, job's right. Well, we've got the turbo manifold, we've got the titanium studs. I've actually already put some titanium studs into the turbo manifold to hold the turbo. Now it's time to see what turbo we'll be running, and you guessed it, a Max Peating Rods 3037 Turbo or GT 3076. Now I know everyone has their opinions about Max Peating Rods and Max Peating Rods turbos. I've used them before on my D series. It was super duper reliable. Plenty of people I know use these turbos. I've used them on plenty of turbo builds in the past. It's just an air pump, guys. As long as you keep giving it oil on the bearings, it's going to spin, it's going to pump air, it's going to do the job. And Max Peating Rods is a sponsor of the channel, so thank you so much to them. Nobody else is out there giving guys like me free turbos, so I'm definitely going to use it. We're going to see how much boost we can push through it and how much power we can make. It'll be a great turbo. It'll teach everyone how reliable they are. And if they're not, you're going to find out. But I assure you, there'll be no issues with this. We've used plenty of Max Peating Rods turbos on the channel before. They are really, really high quality, and this is one of the higher spec models that they do. So the highest heat range, the best bearings, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to open it up. Put the camera down because I do need two hands for this, and I'm handling a knife, so one moment. Here it is here, out of the box. It's got the nice gold wheel with the HKS whistle mod there. This is going to be perfect. It's got a 4-inch intake. Comes with the gaskets, seals, oil restrictor, all that sort of stuff ready to go on. It's also water and oil cooled. I'm probably just going to run oil cooling and lubrication on this just to keep it simple, being that it is a free turbo and we want to test it out. We will be running it just on pure oil, but I'm going to go get this, made it onto this, and then made it onto that. So bear with me. All right, this thing is unbelievably heavy. So it required some tripod action. There we go. Let's get some bolts on there because, yeah, it's, need more hands. Please don't drop on my toes. Well, that's on now, and I've got to tell you, that is actually quite heavy. You see heaps of people online putting these turbo kits on. They're pretty heavy. So the turbo is probably close to 10 kilos, and the manifold and my other little rear muffler that I got came in a parcel for 11.5. So she's not light, but everyone's running these. This is the legit boy with the serial number and everything. I've just got the titanium bolts nipped up finger tight, just so there's no gap or anything hanging on there. So it's all evenly distributed weight, but there it is. That's the turbo size I'll be going with. It's not huge, but it's definitely going to boost my Civic along really, really nice. I've got to clock the turbo, clock the center cartridge. I've got to work out lines. I've got a drain line coming, which is going to go into here. Can't wait to unveil that. It's a pretty unique design. So I'm pretty sure you guys haven't seen it before, but it's all billet alloy, and I can't wait to show that off. But I think the billet gold wheel really matches everything else. I'm probably going to take the cover off, grind back some of these casting marks, maybe even take that off, I'm not sure, and probably paint that black. Once I've tapped in all of my fittings for the intake manifold, I'm going to grind this down flat as well and then paint that matte black also, just in keeping with the theme, so they'll both probably be black. I do have a wastegate to go on there, but I'll just need to see if it fits. It's one I've got for another project that I'll be borrowing. But yeah, I also got myself a rear muffler, and I'll just pull that out of the box now and I'll show you that too. So here it is here, my little baby. Another 1320 item, 3 inches straight through with the 3.5 inch or 4 inch lobster tail dumpy tip. And that's going to be going at the back of the car. It's probably going to be maybe the only muffler on the car, I'm not sure. And that's going to live where all mufflers live, at the back of the car. And I'll probably just tuck it up underneath there, nice and stealthy like. And maybe I'll put another muffler in the middle. I'm not sure yet. But I've got to run heaps of fuel lines, maybe change my fuel pump, do all sorts of stuff coming up in future videos. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know what you think about the turbo, the manifold, the titanium studs, my little lobster tail exhaust. I'm really happy with it. It's the look and style and everything that I want to go for. I'm not going for gigantic power on this, probably around 400, 450 horsepower, maybe push it to 500, maybe, but I'm considering keeping the rods and pistons stock in this. Still undecided if my budget will allow me to do valve springs and retainers and the K20 oil pump. I know those are both really smart ideas and I know I should do them. We'll see if I can find a deal on those. I've got lots of billet goodies going on here, some new drive pulleys, under drive pulleys to help take all of the weight and rotating mass off this. Raceworks is coming around to have a look at doing some fuel rails, some fittings for here, the breathers, also the sensor fitting here. I'm still waiting on my CRV mount to turn up. I couldn't find any at the wreckers. People seem to jump on those pretty quick. One thing I wanted to point out, and one of the reasons why I did end up going with the Sidewinder manifold, is they appear to have fixed their issue. This is a V2, and you can see the flow of the exhaust actually is sort of forced into the wastegate. The new version 1.5 or version 2, I forget what this one is, but it actually allows the flow of the exhaust to go to the wastegate so you don't get wastegate creep. The previous ones just had a straight flange going straight out and all of the gas went straight past them into the turbo, and it was never putting any pressure on the wastegate. So when the wastegate did open, the exhaust was still going past it into the turbo anyway. So this one, the design on the inside is so the exhaust gas goes to the wastegate and you can still regulate boost. I am yet to get a solution here for the water filler neck, but this is going to go because I'm not running a heater core anymore. So I'll probably organize a K-tuned or something to go on here and replace that with a filler and the radiator hose here. That'll give me more clearance down under here. And so once I've clocked the turbo around, probably to the opposite to where it is now, so instead of going up that way, it's going to go down that way. There'll be heaps more room here. My intercooler pipes will be running from the turbo somewhere here straight down. There's a cutout that I've done right there, and that will come straight down here, straight into my intercooler, and then out the intercooler, around here, hug really close to the sump, and then go back up with a couple of 90-degree bends into the plenum. So it's all coming together. Hope you enjoyed the unboxing of the manifold. It's starting to look like a really beastly K-swap now. I'm really excited about it. But don't forget to spool up, and we'll see you in the next video.